Based on recent news reports, it appears that the graffiti abatement programs are having little effect on curtailing vandalism. While the problem of graffiti vandalism is complex, there is no easy answer to this issue. Students in one high school art class are having the opportunity, however, to channel this often misunderstood creative expression into a positive and controlled way. Channel 6 community reporter Luis Carrion brings us this report from Pueblo High School.
It would be a bit of an understatement to say that graffiti is seen as a problem in our community. People have strong opinions about the issue, and neighborhood associations, politicians, and school administrators all work hard to fight what is generally viewed as a blight on our urban landscape.
Because what high school is the main place for graffiti artists. I mean, right here we have like 4 or 5 at the table. Imagine the whole school.
However, for people that are drawn to painting with aerosol paint, the need to go underground and engage in the activity illegally seems to only make it that much more appealing.
To kind of be recognized by the crowd, but not really. Like, everyone knows your name, but no one knows who you are. That kind of thing. I don't know if it was a rumor, but they put a like $200 reward for someone who turned in a kid that kept coming and painting on the school.
It's finding the courage for them to do that, or finding a way to open what's already there.
In this senior art class at Pueblo High School, art teacher John Gray has managed to tap into the inherent interest that these students have in graffiti art and create a life lesson.
The basis of the project for me to try and get people into it was that we identify different cultures, what we talked about as cultures happening here in school.
Graffiti art has generally been viewed as an expression of youth and is closely aligned with hip-hop culture and music. As such, it is often misinterpreted by adults and seen as nothing more than criminal activity.
It's funny because on the news I noticed that too, that they'll find the worst stuff they possibly can and they'll put it on the news and be like, these graffiti artists are destroying the streets or whatever.
In this project, the students have incorporated some of the core values of the school, such as fairness and trust.
I picked fairness because it was like a big thing in my life. Like, I always try to make myself do whatever's right, whatever's fair.
And in many ways, these are some of the values that these young artists hope that the public sees in graffiti art.
We picked the Pueblo blue and then the darker blue so that it could be at least a little bit of school colors. And then we picked just the purple because it looked like a nice purple.
Graffiti, as an expression of identity, is often criminalized in our society. And this seems to only fuel the negative effects of vandalism in our community. But here in the classroom, students are engaged in the exploration of graffiti as art.
That's a whole body of knowledge that I'm trying to get put across in my classrooms so that people know how to do that stuff. And you guys are out there with a spray can doing it, which is a really kind of radical material by comparison, because I'm working with traditional things like pencils or paintbrushes or that whole kind of thing, and you're just like out here with this stuff that's coming out of a can and you're learning how to control it, and that to me is a real art skill.
Incorporating graffiti into this art class has allowed the students to talk openly about the topic and to have their talents validated. This in turn has allowed them to be inspired about their future. So Paul, how did you come to the decision to go into art as an art teacher?
Well, it's something that I like to do, so why not just get paid for doing something that you like to do? You never have to work a day in your life when you do something that you like.
For another student, the skills that are being developed here have even resulted in an invitation to paint murals on some of the local businesses.
It's interesting to me because as a studio artist, I was a studio artist for a fair amount of time before I started here, and essentially the pathway is the same. It's just that these guys are doing it on kind of an alternate route, because that's exactly what you're trying to do as a studio artist. You're donating stuff, you're trying to get your stuff hung up someplace, trying to get people to know who you are, all that kind of stuff, trying to get somebody to pay you to do whatever it is. But you guys are actually doing it.
For many young people that are struggling to stand out from the crowd and to express a cultural identity, art is an important part of becoming an adult. Here at Pueblo High School, the students in John Gray's 7th period art class are looking to this project as a step to realizing the potential of their art and their lives.
We talk about how wonderful Latino culture is with all of the color that's here and all that sort of thing, and yet when there is sort of a contemporary expression, that may or may not be within the Latino community, we do everything we can to get rid of that. And so they, boom, you can't do that, you can't do that.
For KUAT, I'm Luis Carrion.